Hey everyone, and welcome back to another box office breakdown. In case you haven't seen one of these videos before, I'm basically going to be running through the box office numbers here over the past weekend. I'm going to be talking about some movies that performed well, some that maybe didn't, and what we can expect to see in the future. Today I'm going to start with the movie that's number one in the box office for the second weekend in a row. Bullet Train goes back to back with a gross of $13.4 million. No matter how you cut it, this movie is a success for the studio, seeing that its production budget was only about $90 million, which isn't bad for an action movie in the middle of the summer. And whenever you factor in marketing, it probably needed $150 million, somewhere in there, in order for it to be profitable. Well, at this point, it's made $114 million worldwide, so it's on pace to go ahead and make a profit for the studio, and plus, it only dropped 55% weekend over weekend. I talk about this in previous videos, but typically for a movie coming into its second weekend, you want to see its drop off anywhere between 50% to the low to mid 60s. And while Bullet Train didn't have the biggest opening weekend, it still performed well versus its budget, and the fact that it's only dropping 55% only gives me more confidence that this thing is going to wind up being a financial success. I saw the movie and I thought that it was a really fun time in the theater. For whatever reason, the critics have been kind of mixed on this. In my opinion, it's an awesome action movie. You get to see some cool set pieces on a bullet train with Brad Pitt kicking butt, fighting Bad Bunny, everything that you look for in a summer blockbuster. So Bullet Train hits number one in back-to-back weekends. Now, does it hit number one 3 times in a row? I don't think so. We have 2 new releases opening up next week. We have the Orphan sequel, and then I can't remember the name of the movie, but the Idris Elba movie where he fights a lion, that's coming out. Surely, if Bullet Train continues its percentage drop-off, it'll be below $10 million easily. I would assume both of the new releases could get above $10 million. You never really know. I haven't seen too much marketing out there for the Orphan sequel, but it had a good first movie, granted a long time ago, so I think it'll do okay. The Idris Elba Lion movie, again, apologies that I don't remember the name of that movie. I think that should be able to do fine. I've seen solid marketing for that for the last couple of months, so they should be able to get some butts and seats there. And then that's, of course, with the caveat that if both of the movies are good, they could perform even better than what's expected. So while I think Bullet Train's reign at number one is ending after this weekend, it's not exactly set in stone. But let's talk about what else here is on the box office report. We have DC League of Superpets at number 2, hitting $7.17 million in its third weekend, only dropping 35%. Now, I actually went and saw this movie with a friend a couple of days ago, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It didn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but it was a cute animated movie, and it got me even more confused as to why exactly it's not doing fantastic numbers at the box office. Really, I think it falls back on marketing. The trailer for this movie did not look good, so I think it just didn't appeal to many people, and now we're just so accustomed to a lot of movies being released onto streaming that if you don't give people an excuse to come out to the theaters, they're simply not going to show up. So if it's not a movie where parents are saying, oh, we need to take our kids to go see this right now, then why would they spend the money to go take their entire family out to go see DC League of Superpets? Its production budget was about $90 million, and worldwide it's made $109 million, somewhere around there, so it hasn't made its marketing budget yet. It may just squeak by in profitability whenever it's all said and done, but the fact that it's a good movie may just put it over the edge there. It does benefit from the fact that there aren't too many kids movies coming out over the next few weeks, so who knows, maybe more parents will take their kids to go see it over the next few weeks while, school's getting started up. Maybe it makes its money back. I certainly hope so. I liked the movie. Again, if you're on the fence and you're just looking for a good, easy time in a movie theater, this is definitely the movie for you. At number 3, we have Top Gun Maverick in its 12th week. This movie has been out since May. That's absolutely insane. In its 12th week, racking in $7.15 million, and it actually went up 1% weekend over weekend, and I believe I have an explanation as to why. It actually increased the number of theaters that it's being shown in by over 400 over the weekend, and something that I noticed, at least in my area, is that local theaters are showing it in more showtimes. So now that summer movie season is coming to a close, I think theaters are trying to get as many people to come back as they can, and Top Gun Maverick being the movie of the year so far, I think increasing the number of showtimes is their way of doing that. And believe it or not, even though it's like the 13th highest grossing movie of all time at this point, there are still people that haven't gone out and seen it. So, increasing the number of showtimes increases the possibility for those people that haven't seen it to go see it. Maybe people that went and saw it in May, whenever it first came out, that haven't seen it since. It gives them the opportunity to go back and see it. Either way, it seems like what the theaters are doing is working at the moment, seeing that it has a per theater average of a little bit over $2,200, which is excellent, first of all, for a movie that's in its 12th week, and I think it's like the third highest theater average of any movie on this list. So who knows, maybe you could see Top Gun Maverick enter into even more theaters next week. Which again, how crazy is it that this movie came out at the end of May, and it's number 3 in the box office right now? Like, I can't Sorry. I can't hardly wrap my mind around that. It just simply doesn't happen with new releases anymore. This is something that you might see in like the 80s, the 90s, whenever there were just fewer movies being released. Now we get new movies every single weekend, multiple new movies, sometimes major movies in the same weekend. And in the summer where we've gotten a Thor movie, a Jurassic Park movie, a new Jordan Peele movie, Bullet Train that I just mentioned, the fact that Top Gun Maverick has sustained its role over 2 months is absolutely incredible. I believe it's the 7th highest grossing domestic movie of all time and 13th worldwide. If I haven't said it enough, let me say it again. I tip my hat to everyone that worked on Top Gun Maverick for putting in the hard work that made this movie as big of a success as it is. Then rounding out the top 5, we have Thor Love and Thunder at number 4 with $5.3 million, as well as Jordan Peele's Nope in its 4th weekend grossing $5.3 million. Both had percentage drops below 40%, which at this point seems pretty standard for a lot of the movies on this list that have been out for over a month. Outside of the top 10, I really just wanted to talk about the 2 new movies. First, I'm going to talk about Fall. Fall opened at number 10 with $2.5 million. Now, its budget was only $3 million. So, this movie, it should be a financial success, hopefully, if it does decent numbers next weekend. Opening at number 10 isn't exactly promising, but it also didn't open to that many theaters. It just has to do a little bit more to be financially profitable, so, I'm rooting for that film. I haven't seen it yet, but I actually saw, surprisingly good reviews. I thought the trailer was not very good. The CGI, in my opinion, just didn't look great. But after the reviews, I've been kind of scoping out showtimes there. It's very low on the list of movies that I want to go see right now. But if there's something that lines up with my schedule, I'll definitely go out and watch it at this point. Who knows, maybe my $10 ticket will be what puts it over the edge. And then the next one, it technically wasn't its first weekend, but it was its first weekend in a wide release format. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I couldn't find the budget for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies anywhere, but I would imagine it was fairly low. The entire movie basically takes place in one house aside from some aerial shots. But so far the movie has made $3.5 million total. Last week in its first weekend in wide release, it opened at number 8 with $3.2 million. However, it had the second highest theater average at $2,500 a theater, which I'm kind of surprised after its festival presence and the general reception of the movie that it didn't open to more theaters. Now, I'm probably in the minority whenever it comes to this movie. I thought it was okay. I thought there were things that it did really well, and then other things that I just couldn't get behind. But again, I am clearly in the minority whenever it comes to that movie, seeing that it has like a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Good for it. I'm all for small-time filmmakers going out, making their presence known, and making a lot of money in the box office. So I'm happy to see its per theater average is as high as it is, and I'll be curious to see if maybe it expands into even more theaters. Like I said before, there aren't really that many new releases coming out here at the end of the summer, so who knows, with theaters trying to get more people back into seats, hence putting Top Gun Maverick into more showtimes, maybe Bodies, Bodies, Bodies could expand. But that's everything that I had to cover about the box office today. Thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. Subscribe if you enjoyed it and you want more, and I will see you guys next time.